She was in stage 3 leukemia, and she said her and Mike had decided she was not going to fight. It was in God's hands. This was devastating news.
Dude, leukemia is real.
Yeah, it's no joke. Yeah.
Welcome. Housewives of True Crime.
Hi.
Nighttime edition.
I know. I'm drinking coffee.
Unless you're listening in the daytime.
Mm-hmm. We're recording at night. That's when we get crazy.
Well, usually it doesn't involve coffee, but I am not drinking anything, but I really do need a glass of wine right now. Maybe more than ever.
I believe you have. I believe you've had a day.
It's been something.
It has been something. You know, we've all had those days.
Yeah. I hope you all don't have days like I have very often, but it is a Monday for everybody listening. So hopefully this week is going to be a week. And Gretchen just reminded me to just take the let them theory and have it. And if a few of you asked about that book when we talked about it before, but really it is truly a good theory to have. So if you haven't read it, it's a quick, it's not that long. Just listen to it audible.
Right.
After listening to us.
Yeah. Okay. So also I want to say someone's having a worse day than you. Dolly Parton, my girl.
Oh.
So, rest in peace. Carl. So sad. My Dolly lost her husband, but I know people that are not in the know didn't know, but he's been sick for a long time.
Okay. So maybe she was ready for it, and maybe they have, she's a religious lady.
They went the distance. That is, God bless it. 60 years.
It's a miracle.
It is.
That's a lifetime for a lot of people. So, I think he's in a better place now, and she'll go see him in heaven one day.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of heaven, did you hear Lori Vallow is on Dateline, or she was after this airs. She's coming up on a Dateline episode on Friday.
They're going to interview her, crazy ass?
They are interviewing her crazy ass. And there's just a clip of it, but by the time this airs, it will have been out. She says in this one little clip that she knows she's going to be exonerated, and so is Chad, because she's been to heaven already and she saw them both there and they were not in prison.
I don't even know that they should air this. This is kind of like when we all stopped picking on Britney. Like there's just a level where it's like, this isn't entertaining. It's not good. It's just icky. Clearly you need a lot of help. It makes me sick. Everything you did, Lori.
She's a piece of business.
She is a piece of business. Mm-hmm. You know who else is a piece of business? My child.
What happened with her?
It don't quit around here. Nothing really. We were just in the car 10 minutes ago. And I have the twin girls. And so the one will just say anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely anything. And she's like, hey, sister. And I know she's waiting to say this to her because I'm there.
Yeah. So you can hear.
Yeah. She's like, that boy from that one class? He was asking about you.
Oh. That is so funny.
She's like, so what? Could care less. So I'm like, well, why do you think he was asking about you? Just curious. She's like, because Ruby never tells anyone she has a sister. That's why. He's just curious. Happens all the time.
Oh.
Like, okay. We'll go with that.
Okay. All right. Blondie doesn't think he's asking about her locks because she's got good ones.
She does have the Goldilocks, but yeah, she's not into the boys.
No.
Which is all right with me.
Did you see, did I send you that meme where it was like, how come I have a preteen going into puberty while I'm going into perimenopause. Like, shit is real. Like, why did God make that happen?
It's so wrong.
At the same time. It's so wrong.
It is so wrong. And it causes me to cave too. I'm trying to make these children healthy around here. And all the time they're like, Mom, I would do my homework, but you know what sounds better? Let's go get boba.
Oh gosh.
I'm like, you know what? That does sound better.
So much better.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Gretchen and I went to this place in New York that it's called Haiti. Haiti.
So good.
Oh my gosh. Line out the door for days. Okay. And they make these really special teas. I mean, it takes a long time by people that really know what they're doing.
We felt a little stupid. You know, when you go somewhere where it's like everybody knows exactly what they're having, like when you're new to Starbucks and they're like, grande, half calf. We're like, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
The new boba to us. Like, what is that?
Yeah. We're taking videos. We're like, wow, this is amazing. And one of the girls that worked there looked like an anime character.
She did. She was working it. I liked it.
She was so cute. Okay. And however she did her makeup and her hair and all that was, I mean, it was amazing. And she looked perfect making the tea. I mean, it was something.
Yeah. Haiti.
Yeah. If you go to New York, find Haiti. It's right there in Times Square.
Okay.
But make sure you have some time to wait in line.
Okay. You want to give them all that crap you always say?
Oh, yeah. Let me give you all the crap. Blah, blah. Okay. We're going to CrimeCon. If you have not made a decision yet, now is the time. And if you want to go, it's crimecon.com and purchase your tickets. Use the code Housewives and you will get 10% off. If you want to go to CrimeCon in the UK for all of our friends over the pond, then also same goes to you. Okay. CrimeCon UK, code Housewives. Also,
across the pond, I believe it is.
What did I say?
Over the pond.
Oh, over, across, whatever. Well, you have to go over to get across. Okay. Anyways, sorry for that. One more thing. crimewaveatsea.com. Come on the cruise. Oh my gosh,
please come on the cruise.
They just released that they have payment plan now, which is amazing. So you can start.
It's not even till November. You won't even feel it.
Yeah, you won't even see it. It's like, just don't get a Starbucks every day and then you're going on a cruise, which is way better than a Starbucks every day. And that is crimewaveatsea.com/housewives. So we hope to see you there. And one more thing, if you have not been on Patreon yet, please go there. It's also on Apple Clink Clink Club. You get us every single Thursday in your ear. And Gretchen does a bonus crime every single month. That's all.
That's all.
Clink Clink.
Clink Clink. Okay. So today's case is brought to you by listener suggestion, sort of, in our Facebook group. I had just watched this episode of 2020, which I don't watch that much 2020. I'm more of a Dateline gal. But because I was wanting to see the latest one with Gabby Petito's parents.
Yes.
It wasn't up yet on Hulu. I don't have regular TV. And the title of this one caught my eye. And then Stephanie Lauren posted about the same damn episode I had just watched in the group. So, I take that as a sign. And then Miranda Lafferty said, heck, there's some great articles about it if you want to know more. And I did. And then Tara Jones, she just said something encouraging. And I thought, well, shoots.
You better get on it.
Do it. Yeah. So that's what I did. So here we are. Talking about Natalie and Michael Cochran.
Okay. Real quick. Yes. 1 second. Sorry, before you begin. Last week we had a episode from Ashley. In the same sentence, we said Ashley, and then I said Woonsocket was a terrible name. I meant Woonsocket, the town, not Ashley. And somebody had misread that and thought I was telling Ashley that she had a terrible name, which is not true. So sorry, Ashley.
No. Sorry, Ashley.
Yeah. I just wanted to get that out there because it's not what happened. Okay.
Okay.
So Cochrans, which is a funny name. Also,
it's got cock in it. Yeah.
We could be 12 years old with that last name.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of teasing that could go on with that for sure. Okay. Well, Natalie and Michael Cochran, you have some good friends that are also named Natalie and Michael, and they have something in common with this Natalie and Michael.
Stop.
They found the love for each other in high school. And from there, they found marriage.
Same as my friends.
And eventually the baby carriage.
Same.
You know, that's unusual for the young love to go the distance.
I know.
But in some cases, it really does. There's Natalie
and
Michael, Carl and Dolly.
True.
You know, she was only 19 when they got married. Yeah.
Wow.
In the case of Natalie and Michael Cochran, it was a case of till death do us part, you know. Mm-hmm. From high school sweethearts, they moved on to college sweethearts, both attending West Virginia University. And these lovebirds did not waste any time jumping the gun and getting engaged. Michael proposed their freshman year. They tied the knot a short time later. Both Natalie and Michael graduated. She studied pharmaceuticals and he studied technology, computer science stuff or something boring. After graduation, they both found employment in their chosen professions and settled in Daniels, West Virginia, where they bought a home on a couple of acres that they fixed up very nicely over the years and is where they raised 2 children. Daniels is a small town, population around 1,500.
Very small.
Very small. But Beckley, West Virginia, and a couple more areas.
Surrounding areas, yeah.
Pretty close by, and they're pretty happening. So from the outside looking in, life for Natalie and Michael is really shaking out well. Both Natalie and Michael are good looking and fit, and they are this picture perfect family, with Michael always coaching the kids' sports and Natalie always being the team mom. Michael worked in IT and Natalie as a pharmacist and a diabetic counselor. Both were, which by the way, I just started metformin. Thank you, Effecti.
Oh, did you get it from Effecti too?
I sure as heck did. Sure as heck did. And I will report all about. So far, so good, dude.
They are one of our sponsors and they're a good one. So check them out.
Yeah, I was recently bragging about it to some friends of mine and they were like, "Are you diabetic?" I was like, "No one's diabetic."
I mean, except diabetics.
I was like, get on the GLP train, people. No, just kidding. Please don't send me anything. You know, it's called humor. Okay.
Yes, it's humor.
I don't take myself that seriously.
We are not doctors, so go to Effecti and they will tell you what you need and all that. Okay.
Check it out. Okay. Anywho, in 2017, in addition to owning his own IT business, Natalie and Michael were inspired to start another side business. The business was a little outside of the box and kind of ballsy. The Cochrans business was called Tactical Solutions Group, and it was a supplier of arms and medical supplies to the government. The Cochrans watched the movie War Dogs, which the premise is that, have you seen this movie?
Mm-mm.
Even if she'd seen it, she wouldn't remember.
It's true. I probably have seen it.
Yeah. Your husband's probably seen it.
Oh, he's seen every movie under the sun.
Yeah. So it's basically that anyone can apply for a government contract. And the way the government works is that it's explained as like they will pay $50 for a $10 hammer. So anyone has this opportunity to get the contracts, which are listed, can make a very lucrative living doing this if they have, you know, the capital and the connections to supply the supplies. Okay. While that all seems great, if you watch the movie, which is based on a true story, you will see the takeaway is that the business model lends itself to fraud and the main characters end up in the clink. But that wasn't stopping Natalie and Michael from getting their war dogs on. They were focusing on the positive, which was that, government contracts can make it rain.
Yeah, it can't. Actually, it's true.
I mean, it can. Right.
Yes, it can. Okay. If it's done correctly, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The way they tackled their new business venture was Michael would find the contracts on the government websites, and Natalie would bid on them and execute the deal.
Okay.
They seemed to make a great team. According to Mike's friends, Mike would light up when he talked about how knowledgeable and business savvy his wife Natalie was for the way she handled the deals. Everyone around them was really impressed by their success. Natalie had actually left the pharmaceuticals industry that she had worked in for the last 19 years to make this new business her main focus. Well, Michael's role, like I was saying, in the new business was searching out the contracts. Natalie took it from there, while Michael still owned and operated his IT business as well. So she's the main one making it all happen. Mm-hmm. This kind of government contracting, exciting new venture was a lifestyle, kind of a game changer for them. They were adding on to their house. They started taking international vacations, new cars, like fancy new cars. Mm-hmm. They were like leveling up their flossy floss all over. Investing in themselves was clearly paying off. And the Cochrans paid it forward. They got housing for a youth pasture in need. They donated a weight room to a local middle school.
Wow. Did they go to Bible study?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They were, I don't know about Bible study specifically, but I do know they were regularly attending the church.
Okay.
They were great at spreading the love, and it seemed natural with all the success that they were seeing that they also bring in their inner circle to the business by way of encouraging them to also invest with their new company, Tactical Solutions Group, so they could be leveling up their lifestyles too, or whatever it was that a windfall could provide them. In the case of Michael's parents, they invested $250,000, which was their retirement, so they could grow that money and live out their later years, la vida loca.
Yeah.
They also got Natalie's parents and sister on board with investing. They got a recently widowed single mama that they had grown close to through Michael coaching the son who had lost his father to invest a couple $100,000 because they wanted financial stability not to be something she had to worry about now that she had 3 kids to raise on her own. There were some other friends who had a child in the midst of a health crisis. He had a mass that had to be removed and he had to undergo multiple surgeries to have it done. And in this case, they wanted to see them have one parent be able to stay home from work to care for the recovering child, to unload some of the burden.
Yeah.
And then there were just the successful friends that were urged to invest, like Mike's lawyer friend, Chris Davis, who invested with his partners over $500,000 just because why not do what they could do to see, everyone they love just make a come up.
Yeah, and have a good return on their investment.
Sure. The list of investors goes on, and it was comprised of people they knew, and those people knew each other, and everyone was happy to be a part of this exciting investment opportunity that Michael and Natalie were giving them. But by December of 2018, some of the investors were anxious to see some of the returns on their investments translate into money in their bank accounts, including Mike's mama. Remember? Right?
Yeah. So she invested $250,000.
Yeah, her whole retirement.
And then when do they get the investment back? Like they get the contract,
all the contracts had different time periods.
Times. So they get some money back.
So they had been told that they were going to be, they should have been seeing their returns already, but they were patient because everyone knew at this point that there was a reason that the government was not paying its contractors. And that was because there was a shutdown from December 22nd, 2018 until January 25th, 2019. There was a long shutdown.
Because of what?
We all remember.
Not because of COVID. It was something.
No, it was pre-COVID. It was something.
Okay.
So that actually sounds like a reasonable explanation as to why the government contractors like, Tactical Solutions Group are not getting paid.
Yeah.
Well, when that shutdown was over and they still didn't get paid, it was also reasonable that they were going to be backed up on the payment making. But time kept ticking by. And then the investors were now reluctant to bother Natalie with the latest on the return payment on investment they had been promised based on the contractual timelines she had provided them because Natalie had cancer.
Oh.
She was in stage 3 leukemia, and she said her and Mike had decided she was not going to fight. It was in God's hands. This was devastating news.
Dude, leukemia is real.
Yeah, it's no joke. Yeah. This was devastating to everyone that knew them personally and those that knew of them in the community. No one likes to hear of a young mother, especially a charitable church-going one, getting their number called too soon. Natalie was now regarded as like a real hero who was battling cancer. But Natalie is still putting on her brave face, and all the while they are just keeping the business going, bless her heart. But that time just continued to be ticking away, and Michael himself began questioning his beloved cancer-stricken wife. What in the hell is taking so long for the government to just pay up? And I thought we were rich, baby. How come we are getting our utilities shut off?
Oh, shit.
And he's also still got his mama on his back saying, show me the money, son.
Where is my money?
Yeah. So now Michael is at this point where he is really kind of getting on Natalie's case now because she is the one that handles the money part of the business. And so, what's the holdup, Nat Boo? After some back and forth like that, Natalie informs him funds are on the way. She said, baby, we have $1.8 billion coming with a
B.
Big ass B coming in.
Holy
and
shit.
The only hold up now is that we are going to need to take ourselves out of town to the fancy bank that needs us both there in person to open the account that we are going to need to accept such a huge amount of money.
That's a lot of taxes, too.
Amen. Right? Oh my God. I just think,
right? Yes. That's like a lottery. That's the best lottery win, they've had a couple up there.
Okay. So, can you imagine?
No.
Michael is amen, for sure. Yeah. He texted his best buddy, Chris, the lawyer, who had invested over $500,000.
Yeah.
That he has amazing news. They are so close. Chris wrote back, I'm so happy for you. Thank you for everything you have done for us. And Mike is on top of the world. You can't blame him who does not like to feel like Santa Claus or Oprah. You get a car, you get your investment payment or, whatever. Right? Yeah. But the morning of the bank meeting, Things started out bad and ended worse. It ended in tragedy. Early morning on February 6th, Natalie and Michael were set to borrow their friends Chris and Jennifer's airplane for the trip to the big city where the bank was. But because Natalie was up all night sick, in the early AM, she thought it was best to cancel the pilot and the bank meeting. That day, Natalie communicated to the friends that she had the flu and the norovirus and that it hit her so hard because, she has the cancer. She said her doctors put her on such a high dose of steroids that her blood sugar was elevated. Now, Natalie knows a lot about all things blood sugar, glucose, insulin, because remember before she was a purveyor of arms. Yes.
Yeah, yes. She's a diabetes consultant.
Yes. So when she asked to borrow a bottle of insulin from Jennifer, who always had it on hand because of her diabetic son, Gavin, Jennifer did not hesitate to send her husband, Chris, right over to the Cochran house along with some Diet Coke to help settle Natalie's stomach. Natalie had counseled Chris and Jennifer when their son was diagnosed with diabetes, and they were dear friends.
Yeah.
So they didn't mind the ask at all. 2 hours after Chris had left the Diet Coke and insulin at the door, Michael texted his friend Chris. He thought he was catching whatever Natalie had got, and he was going to sleep. Shortly after that, Natalie sent out a picture of Michael in a fetal position on the floor to friends. 6 hours later, he was taken to the hospital by Chris, who went by the house for a second time that day. This time, to come inside and check on Michael. And when he saw his friend unconscious, despite Natalie insisting that he hates hospitals and you better just let him sleep it off, he took him anyways. Upon arrival at the hospital, he was intubated immediately. And 4 days later, Natalie moved him to hospice, and on February 11th, 2019, Michael Cochran died. It was just so awful and unbelievable that this beautiful family that had first been afflicted by Natalie's cancer.
Yeah, now lost the dad.
Michael passed. The kids were 11 and 13 years old.
Yeah, I was wondering how old they were.
And they're going to lose both of their parents. Michael's funeral was just 2 days later, and only family was invited to attend. His mama, Donna, said it was a very short service. Too short. She gave an interview on a podcast called Creepalacha that has done a really great job and a deep dive into this case. So if you want to hear more, you should go there and check it out. So the Cochrans' friends, of course, felt so terrible for Natalie after Michael passed, and they knew her to be relatively private. And so, of course, they were supportive of her wishes, but it was still disappointing that there was not like a real kind of service that they were able to attend. And neither were the many kids and their families that Michael had coached over the years. And he had been involved for a long time with the local football and baseball leagues.
Yeah.
But really, what is anyone going to do? In that kind of position, the wife is calling all the shots. She was now managing her cancer, her children, and the business now on her own. And she seemed to be doing it as well as can be expected. Mm-hmm. In May, just a few months after Mike had passed, she created scholarships in his name that would be funded by Tactical Solutions Group. I mean, what a gem. She is finding the